How to memorize 5,000 words in every language, in any language. How to memorize 5,000 words in any language. At first, you might just target 2,000 words to get conversational. Probably that approximately, I think, to be honest, even 1,000 words, it's enough to speak. But let's talk about this topic. So, recently, I just published a story in my Instagram, and I said it's better. So basically, I said memorizing 5,000 words is useless. So this is how I wanted to call this live stream. I wanted to say memorizing 5,000 words is useless to clickbait you guys, to clickbait you. But it's actually how I think. It's kind of crazy. I just didn't want to turn off a lot of people, but this is how I think. The reason why I think so is because I had a lot of experience of memorizing words just by just memorizing words, basically like the word and the meaning. So I will just share two stories. The first story was when I was trying to hack the code for learning languages back in the day. So I will just like put a vocabulary list from the textbook in front of me, and I would just stare at it while I was eating, while I was brushing my teeth. And I was like, somehow I would soak it in, because if you eat for 10 to 20 minutes and then you do it like 3 times a day, it's like 30 minutes at least. And then you brush your teeth twice. So it's like plus 5 to 10 minutes. So it's like 40 minutes. You can just like stare at it, like the vocabulary list. Well, you know what happened? I didn't memorize anything, literally nothing. It was crazy because I thought, well, and I think I tried to create flashcards, or yes, I think I tried to create flashcards and like hang them all around my place. There would be like vocabulary lists of flashcards like near my bed or where I would brush my teeth, in the kitchen and stuff like this. And then basically it didn't work. It didn't work. And then I started looking at those Anki cards. I was like, man, like this is something that I don't think it works. And then in China, when I was preparing for HSK 5 exam, I wanted a quick vocabulary boost. And so I bought this book which taught like, I don't remember how many, like, but it was a few thousand words. I think it was at least 2,000. There were a lot of words. And I remember how I just learned, just like tried to memorize a lot of them. And I remember how it just literally boosted my reading, just reading only, like speed reading, because you have to like to pass exam. It's actually it's not easy. Like you have to like speed read a lot of stuff. Um, I don't, and basically it just boosted my reading a little bit, just like a little bit of knowledge of characters, but it didn't boost my speaking at all. And I just use this kind of vocabulary book, like, and then also I use this one for memorizing Korean words, 2,000 Korean words, like great words, by the way, and with example sentences too. Didn't help me as well as much as I thought. And it's like, and I was like, well, I don't understand, man. Like, I really don't understand. Because if you take a book like this, if you actually memorize 2,000 words, why what happened was that, okay, so I would finish the book like this. I would test myself, let's say like on half of the book, and I was like, I would just test myself. I was like, I know all the words, but my speaking, because at that time when I was learning with this book, I was already speaking Korean, but my speaking didn't grow, like it just didn't improve at all. And I couldn't understand that, like, what's the reason why my speaking doesn't improve? And then just I was working with this, like, again, it was the second vocabulary textbook I was using, and it's the third example of the story. And it's just like every single damn time when I would take this book, this kind of book for Chinese or for Korean, it never improved. And I was just thinking, what do I actually say? Like, what are the things that I'm saying when I speak the language? Like, whether it's new things or old things, what are the things that I'm saying? Why does this vocabulary from here doesn't make it to my brain so that I can speak it? So what happened was that I was just speaking, I was just catching myself. Let's say, okay, so let's say you bring me in front of 10 people. I need to make a speech about success, like how to get success. 怎么取得成功? in Chinese, right? 有志者事竟成, right? I need to say a lot of phrases, a lot of words. 不经历风雨怎么见彩虹？没有人随随便便成功。Right? I need to say like phrases, words. I need to build my speech up. What are the things that I would use? Would I use these kind of textbooks? Like if I will need to speak for a long time, what would I say? I noticed that I was saying mostly the phrases that I used in my essays when I was writing in Chinese in China, or some phrases from the textbook, from the text that I liked and I heard and I spoke them. So basically, the answer to this question of how to memorize 5,000 words is already here. You don't memorize the words really, you memorize the sentences and the phrases. And for you guys, the practical tip, people are like, you are selling your program. You are selling. Dude, go out, find your own teacher, right? The thing I want to say here is practical advice for you how to work with your teacher independently from me. Okay? This is how you do it. How do you distinguish between good and bad teacher? You go to a teacher, you go to italki.com. They wanted to sponsor me. We didn't agree on the price. I was like, I don't agree. So basically, same with Hello Talk, by the way. I think they contacted me before, but I mean, great tools, by the way. Like there's just like two tools I recommend for learning, not many of them. The problem with that is just most teachers, they're really bad. Like they don't even know what they're doing. Um, how do you know whether a teacher is good or bad? First of all, no, I didn't use Anki cards. Like I said, yeah, I didn't use them because, like I said, Anki cards is just like a word with no sentence, right? Somebody asked, like, did you use Anki cards? No, I was about to use them, but I didn't use them. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is that you can just go like the practical value from this live stream that I want all of you guys to take. And it's, by the way, this is what I teach on my courses too, because I am like, my goal is that you don't come back to me, because I want you to become independent. This was my very first client. I said, listen, like, my goal, I want to teach you how you can do it by yourself. The thing that we did, the system that you learn, and the things that I see in this live stream is not for everybody, right? Some of you guys will go out, implement it, and you will just see, oh yeah, Victor was right. Like some of you will say it. And the good teacher and the bad teacher. So there are a lot of what I'm trying to say here on italki or some other websites. To be honest, just don't hate on me. Don't say, oh, Victor is like trying to do. It's like there are almost no teachers like this. It's like it's a top 1%. It's top 0.01%. The best teachers in the world, they don't teach you the word, they teach you the usages. So in Chinese, this is how I learned how to learn languages. It was the first from Chinese. The teacher showed us the third dimension. I thought it was two dimensions all the time. So I was like, okay, so there is first dimension, grammar. Okay, first dimension, words. And the second dimension, grammar, right? Words, grammar, words, grammar. Okay, words connect, grammar connects words into sentences, right? So 语法 grammar, 词汇 vocabulary, 单词 words, right? Words and grammar. Third dimension, guys, 用法 the law of usage. Chinese is the only language. I think it's the language of wisdom. Chinese is the language of wisdom. I've never seen in my life, like I said, like I speak 5 languages. I'm not fluent in all of them. I'm not fluent in Japanese, but I consider myself fluent in 4 of those 5. And I can definitely see that. To be honest, I know, like I read in Japanese, and I read some really good, like, like stories and that have wisdom a little bit. And but Chinese is the deepest language I've ever seen in my whole life. And I think that Chinese has such a I don't know why it's so deep, why it has such a great depth. But even how they approach learn, I'm not sponsored by any kind of like parties or governments. And sponsored by Victor Talking. Okay, so basically, I'm not sponsored by like some VPN. Hey guys, by the way, do you want the VPN? Hey, by the way, oh, great tool. Like, yeah, I did one ad before, but oh, earbuds or like so. I'm not doing like some random ad in my every one of my videos. I'm sponsored by me. I'm sponsored by my own thing. I'm not sponsoring any. By the way, we're creating our own app for learning languages. Our own app. So get excited for that, guys. It will be like my coaching for fraction of the price. Basically, it's like old main principles, but in the app, it's like 10 to 20 bucks a month. It's like, man, it's the best. It's like time tracking, page tracking, progress tracking. It's is the best. But basically, what I'm trying to say here is that I was just yeah, I was I so in China I learned this third dimension, Yungfa, the law of usage, and I realized that the best teachers on Italki, if you want to take this advice, this very practical advice, if you want to go to Italki or any other website and find teachers that would suit you, just see that the teachers who are just like basic, they're not not very professional, like the very basic one. I'm talking about it, how to memorize 5,000 words. Um, those teachers teach you just a word and translation, word and translation, word translation, word translation. And the best elite teachers of the world, the elite, like I always say, best teachers in the world, best teachers in the world, best teachers, best program in the world, best program in the world. Why do I say that? What are the things? What are the reasons? Well, it's like it's just one of those small things. When they test you on the vocabulary knowledge, they don't just ask you what is this word. They tell you, give me 5 examples of how you can use this word, 5 sentences, and you just like go through it, right? Like you just open the book. Okay, what is the word? Like like just some yeah, it's just some random word. Okay, 忽视 to ignore, 忽视发音，忽视别人的想法. Like it's like you do take one word and it's like ignore other people, ignore opinions of other people, ignore this, ignore that. 忽视规则，忽视规定，忽视 like and so on and so forth. And so this is how you learn. And somebody asked, how do you memorize 5,000 words? In one answer to this question, I would say you memorize them in sentences, not word by word. You memorize them in stories, in phrases, right? So I used to say it's easier to memorize a sentence than to memorize a word. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is because, guys, like I said, all of you guys, like some people like, oh, I speak more languages and stuff. It's not about the number of languages, right? So there are 5 levels of languages. Chinese and Korean are level 5, both of them, and they are 4 times harder than Spanish, 4 times harder. So speaking Chinese and Korean, it's equal to speaking 8 European languages in terms of difficulty. Google what I'm saying here. 5 levels of languages. Level 5 is at least 2,200 hours. Level 1 is less than 600 hours. Level 5, there are only Arabic, Korean, Chinese, and Japanese. Only these 4, and Cantonese, of course. 5 languages in the world are the hardest languages. Russian is level 4. So, of course, for me, it was easy to learn English because it's like, I mean, it wasn't easy. I spent a lot of years in it, but people still make fun of my pronunciation. So, nothing is perfect in this world. But what I'm trying to say here is that it's easier to memorize sentences and stories because your brain doesn't really work like that. You put a flash card, Anki card in front of it, but next day, just ask yourself, just everybody on this live stream, guys, we have a few people on this live stream. Just ask yourself this one question. I want you to be really honest with you, really honest with yourself. Ask yourself this one question. What I'm saying now, you can doubt that, but just ask this one question. If you learn 5 words from Anki cards today, will you be able to use them tomorrow? Yes or no? More yes or more no? Just ask yourself. Or if you learn some interesting sentence that you like, some phrase, sentence, how likely are you, which consists of 5 words too, how likely are you to use it tomorrow? when talking to your friends? Just this one quick test, guys. I can i can talk a lot about this and that and the best and everything, but I'm talking about very precise terms here. And by the way, vocabulary lists do work, but I will tell you why these don't work. You know which vocabulary lists work? It worked for me back in the day. I created 2,500 vocabulary lists by myself when I was learning English. I was reading Fundamentals of Economics by William Boyce and Michael Melvin. I found the textbooks in PDF format, and I started reading the textbook in English and translating every single word. I translated thousands of words. I memorized all of them. Vocabulary list, write this down. Write this down. Vocabulary lists don't work unless you create them. You can create your own vocabulary list even without example sentences, but you memorize those words perfectly because it's yours. Because you wrote it down, you took it from somewhere, and you memorized this word because you know where you saw this word. You know the text, you know the context, you know the TV show, the movie, the TV series, and so on and so forth. Where you saw this word, you just write word and translation. Create your own list with your own words. Anki cards, you might tell, but Anki cards are the words that I learned too, and so on and so forth. Then it might be okay. But it's like they're sometimes so random. Like they just download those stacks of Anki cards and they don't create them. Like this is what I noticed with Anki cards. But if for somebody it worked well, then be it. Like, but for me, like to be honest, I'm like, why would you overcomplicate that? I'll just do the Excel spreadsheet, right? But it's spaced repetition. Well, you can do space, you can just do review it every day and it will be well enough. It's not like optimizing +2, +3 percentage points, you know. It's like you can just learn it, like you can just review this vocabulary before a study session. Like for 15 minutes, it will be enough. So vocabularies work, but they work only if you create them, right? So you can. So the practical tip number one. Okay, so let me read some comments from here so that you see that it's not pre-recorded. Thanks for the answer. Translation degree still worth it? What do you think? I mean, yes, it does worth it. I mean, whatever you're doing right now, if you're at the university learning a language or anywhere else, why do you think it doesn't worth it? It does worth it if it's worth it, like for you, for yourself, right? So there are translators, they're actually pretty expensive, and they're translating on a very high level. It's just that you can do much more with the language than just translation. This is it. Like I would just say, like translation is just one of so many things that you can do with a language, right? For me, it's like it's like a whole spectrum, right? Personal life, social life. Um, Guys, I'm Russian. Like, what would happen to me if I wouldn't have learned English, right? Like, all my friends are like, I have friends in so many countries. In China. I'm talking to friends in China, from like friends in the U.S., friends from here, Korean friends. Like, I have so many friends. I talk to friends in all like I would say not five but four languages. I literally talk to them every single day in all in those four languages. Literally, if you put a cameraman on me, like you'll see that I'm not like people are like, yeah, you show how you speak the language. That's why you ask the question and how many dishes you need to order, and it's a bad question. I'm like, dude, I live here for almost 8 years. I don't speak any other language except for Korean and Chinese. I don't even speak English and Russian. Like, what are you saying, man? Like, you need like people think that for shooting videos you need to put like some front on. Like, dude, sometimes I have some crazy moments. I'm like, man, I wish the camera would be like 100% of the time on me. Probably the next investment I should do is the investment in videographer, the person who just follow me and shoot me with a good camera. I have a best camera, and it's like, dude, like so much content, like so much content, like funny situations, people like complimenting, like looking, staring, like I'll just like funny situations, just like speaking with my girlfriend or with friends. And it's like so many funny situations, like, and not every day, but you know what I mean. I'm not speaking my own language, I'm having fun in other languages. So translation is I would say it's good to start. You can do so much stuff. How to memorize 5,000 words? So I already. So the quick answer to this question, like I said, is if you create vocabulary, if you use vocabulary list, if you're a great fan of it, create your own vocabulary list. As for flashcards, like in physical format, it's unpractical to do 5,000 flashcards, right? Um, so as for Anki cards, I would prioritize. I'll just create a list of words rather than just Anki card. You can try Anki cards and let me know it works. I'm just not a fan of like cards, right? I'm like I said, I right now at this point, if I learn any language, I don't really even create any vocabulary list. Like if you want to know my stage, like how I learn, it's just like I have notes of all phrases, notes of like I okay, like okay. So we're on this live stream, right? We're live. It's not prepared. Let me open my recent lesson with my teacher. I'm still. Somebody tells you they're fluent to the point that they're not learning, they're bullshitting, right? They're stop learning. I never stop learning. I don't want to stop learning, never. So this is just my list of notes that I'm going through during my advanced classes, right? So I'm not preparing for any kind of exam. I think you don't see it, but I'm going. So this is just like my notes, right? Like it's a phrase. So what is it for someone? What is it's phrases and sentences. There's not words, just phrases and sentences, right? So this is how I learn. Like when I take notes together with a teacher. That's why I said like elite level people, teachers, they are not that I'm working with and I learned from, and they by the way, same people teach my clients too. I practice what I preach in every single thing. If I'm not, I'm trying to do that as much as I can. Just like everything. If it doesn't match, I try to fix it, and then just like I'll bring to the level that I can say I used it, and I actually got the result with it, right? So that's why I recommend it. So um basically you learn by memorizing those 5,000 words, by memorizing phrases, and it's easier. Memorize the text, read if you're more advanced, read the book. Now I'm starting reading books in Chinese like once in a very long time. I will start reading in Korean too. I started back in the day, but I dropped it. It should be like not very hard but easy enough so you can like get in, and then you just like upgrade while doing that for more advanced. And you memorize words by going through textbooks. This textbook will teach you more Chinese, like this kind of textbooks will teach you more Chinese words than any vocabulary list. It might have, so it's and just take this one thing. If you write anything down, just take this one thing. It's better for anybody who tells you it's better to memorize 200 words with 10 usages for each word, which would total in 2,000 sentences. It's better to do that than memorize 2,000 words. You see? So 200 words can be stronger than 2,000 words. How? Well, if with 200 words you can create 10 sentences, you can speak the language. With 2,000 words, you can't really speak. I literally, like there, I know cases where people have a lot of vocabulary and they're like close to perfect with it, even in Chinese, and they can speak. So I know what I'm talking about, and I had it myself too. Like I said, like I gave you a lot of examples. So take it. So you can disagree with everything that I say. You can try. Just do one thing. Be open minded and try both. Right? Take take the textbook. Take the text. Read it. Translate every word. Try to rehearse it multiple times. Repeat it. 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 Repeat the text. Repeat the text. Repeat the sentence. Repeat the sentence. Repeat the sentence over and over and over and over and over again. You open the book and you repeat it like crazy. It's not cramming, by the way. 去年3月的一天，去年3月的一天，去年3月的一天，and you just repeat it, shadow it multiple times, and then try to recall it. Talk to ChatGPT, write an essay about it, ask ChatGPT to fix it, right? So, and list your mistakes using the new words. And so what you do is that you use new words and new grammar structures to recall the text, right? So guess what happens next? You do it multiple times, you meet your friends, and the next thing you need to do is you say those phrases. But what do you do after that? You go to this damn comment section and tell me that you did that, right? And tell me that it worked. It fucking works, bro. It's the best in the world. on the fucking planet, man. Best than any kind of your like sentence mining or like Anki cards. This shit is the best. The best. The most elite shit you'll ever see. That's professional. I got my 10,000 hours in languages, guys. I know this shit. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. You don't learn words, you learn phrases. You learn phrase. Let's say it together. You learn, let's literally say it while you watch it. You learn phrases, sentences. Because next time you see that hot chick on the street, you want to impress her with your language, you don't say her the word, you say the phrase. Next time you see your wife's mother, you want to impress her with your perfect Chinese, you don't say the word, you say the sentence. So don't memorize the words, memorize the sentences. Because instead of memorizing one damn word, you memorize a few words in a sentence, plus new grammar, plus the usage. So this is the best advice on learning languages on the planet. Best people know it, best elite players know it, elite language learners know it. Everybody knows it, except for people who. So people who be like, "Well, I use this method because I'm a native English speaker. I am from California, and California. I'm from California, and I learned Japanese by watching anime 5 hours a day, and I was using Anki cards." And I'm like nerdy. I'm like I pass like ages like N and like N GLPT N2, and I'm just like all the time like on the screen playing computer games in Japanese, and I'm really good. I don't give a fuck about your what you're saying, Victor, because I already like I use my own thing. Just learned this one Japanese language. Like I'm like, okay, bro, okay, I get it. First of all, congrats, right? First of all, congrats. Now you can play games or watch animes. Nerding out, it's all good. Okay, it's great. It's great, right? It's good. Awesome. I have nothing to say. That's it. I have nothing to say to you. Go do your thing. It's all good. Good, all good. 5 hours, animes, 3 hours, YouTube videos, Anki cards, all works. Great. I have my own take on it. Take it or leave it. I say learn sentences instead of learning words. You might disagree. I say Anki cards and just like any kind of lists. I'm not into it. I think it doesn't work because of this, and this. You can disagree. Try both. This is the only thing I can tell. I can only persuade you to try both. The only thing, like I learn. Okay. Stop here. But I don't. Okay. I get it. I get what you mean. But I'm level 10 and 2. Okay. N2, N1. Okay. I can watch it. Okay. You can watch anime in Japanese. Okay. I am more fluent. Okay, you're fluent in Japanese. Okay, I see. You're the best. You are the best. I see. I get that. Okay, I get that. You just sell your course. Okay. I'm just selling my. I'm okay. 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 I give up. I give up. And two. Okay. That's it. One thing I want to say for those of you who are open minded, right? Try both. Be like, okay, I give it the benefit of the doubt. I learn not one word today, but I'll learn a sentence or two instead of one, right? And I'll just repeat it and rehearse it. And better to connect it in a story. Like try to talk about some topic in 3 sentences, right? Like 3 sentences about some topic. Topic of reading, topic of hobbies, topic of books, topic of, I don't know, snowboarding, just any random stuff. And do that, right? And try to just like create 3 sentences or see some sentences from the textbook. Just create your sentence bank instead of creating a word bank. People think it's more difficult. No, it's not more difficult. It's not more difficult. So if you're open minded, try both. Run an experiment. and see what works for you, what sticks with you, right? So in comments here, we saw, okay, I think if I learn 5 Enki words from Enki cards, on the next day, I won't be able to tell it to say it to somebody, right? You think you won't be able to use it right on the next day, right? So if you learn a sentence, you think you will be able to. And if you run this, it's like a simulation in your brain, right? You can run it and you can see it. Learn phrases, learn phrases, learn phrases, learn sentences, learn sentences, learn sentences, learn texts, learn stories. Impress with sentences, impress with stories, impress with phrases. Words don't impress. 5,000 words give nothing. 5,000 words are shit. They are useless. They will be able to only help you to pass this and to test, to just show it and say, okay. And just say, hey, Victor, you're wrong because I passed. Like I used this vocabulary list and I passed, but I can't speak. Or just like freak out when people speak to me and I can't understand shit because it's like the dialects are different. If I go to Japan, everybody's like, huh? So you see what I mean, right? So be open-minded, guys. Be open-minded. There is a special like type of people I find, especially English speakers who learned only one foreign language, and they take. You know when you take people think, oh, you speak like multiple languages. Do you know when you actually take the biggest proud when you learn your first language? Do you know who are the most fucking annoying drivers on the road? Do you know who are they? Not with the most expensive cars, bro. Not with the most expensive, not with 100K, 200K cars. No, those people show you their like where they're going. The most fucking annoying type of bullshit people on the road are people with like cheap BMWs, not from like the newest ones, right? Like the cheapest, not tuned one. I'm not like hating on BMW owner. It's like it's under luxury, like first underachievement type of thing. And it's like it's these are the most fucking annoying people because they're the most proud. The people who actually drive 200K cars, they're just chill, man. They're just fucking chill. They're just like driving very fucking slowly. A lot of space, a lot of space in front of them, a lot of space behind them. They're fucking chill. They're like, it's like a chill as hell, man, when they're driving. Those like BMW 3 Series, like behind you, like shit, dude. My fucking Kia K5 will make your fucking, you will gap you like crazy, man. Like you're just like behind me, like fucking fuck knows who. So people who that's the same thing with native English speakers who learn one language, which is a great achievement. It's great achievement, don't get me wrong. But it's like if they learn a language to a certain level, they just get so much proud that they think that like everything that they did was great. Dude, I learned my first language was English and I spent like 5 years on that. Do you like most of the time, most of the things I did was just like a waste of time? Why would they make proud of learning one for language and saying that, oh, this method, like Victor's method doesn't work or works because I did or didn't do something? Well, if you became fluent in Japanese in 6 months using your own thing, well, you are elite player. You might be the next method maker, right? So you might be onto something. Like you might use something that worked for you. Now try to do it so that it works for other people too, right? But don't get proud like those like cheap BMW people that think that they're kind of luxury, but they're actually kind of not. They're like thinking like they're like the proudest people on the fucking road, man. So it's like, dude, I literally and I saw like cars race. I don't know how about other countries. Cars racing here in Korea, like actually racing and being very aggressive on the road. I never saw like Porsche or like very expensive cars, like a very actually speed cars racing with people with just like I acting really fucking weird. Never. It's always some cheap tuned up car like and or like some like I don't know, like I said, like some cheap BMW which they buy used, right? I'm not hating on BMW. I love it. It's my favorite brand. But what I'm saying is that when people, the proudest people are the people who got their first small achievement, which is also great. Don't get your first small achievement when learning like some language and thinking that, oh, like I have an authority of actual. If you have an authority, teach people how to do it. Teach people and say like, okay, I helped this guy to do this, this, and this. This is what they did. Teach that. That's great. It's much better than being translator even. So what I'm trying to say here is that learn words, learn phrases, and avoid the advice from people who don't really know what they're talking about. If they're at the point that they achieved, there is like it's a whole freaking like they don't even know how your brain just gets you out of the dark side. It's like your brain is smarter than you, basically, right? So if somebody on this live stream, they're like, okay, Victor, I don't agree with you. Just memorizing 2,000 words can help. Dude, because your brain is smarter than you. You know why? Because when you learn those 2,000 words, yes, it will help you. Yes, it will help you. Even if it's from this list, you can still start speaking. But the thing is that your brain will automatically find usages. Your brain will like learn it for you. Your brain will pick up on the usages and you'll be using that, right? So notice how your damn brain works first before you state an opinion about something, right? So notice how it works, and then you'll see. It's like, no, like, well, I'm against the textbook. Right? What is the textbook, dude? It's just a text with translated words, with grammar explanation and grammar exercises. What is bad about it? What is bad about? Why do you think the app is more efficient than this thing? Do you know how many people work on this textbook from Beijing University? The teams of people, a lot of people, the smartest people work on those. Same with other textbooks too. I'm not promoting like just Chinese textbooks. Genki textbooks for learning Japanese, greatest stuff. People try to just find one word that Japanese people don't say. Oh, Japanese people don't say this word. Well, if your textbook is outdated, so if you want to learn real Japanese, sign up for my course where I tell you the real. I know that it's real Japanese that you're teaching, but why would you just take one outdated thing from the textbook and say the whole textbook is wrong? No, it's not. No, it's not. And your course can benefit if you use your course plus the textbook together, then you'll be unstoppable. I have my own video courses, but I never say, oh, my video course can just like maybe I have a guidance video course. Like when I say you get a like they get a video course like for Korean, real life Korean. As I was like, you can use these textbooks. This is where you can find teachers. This is your study plan. So it's like a study plan course, right? But no video course can teach you the language. No app can teach you the language. I will help our own app, but it structures on how you teach, but doesn't teach you, right? No, nothing. It's if you up. I know like some apps they can have the whole textbook in the app. Well, it's okay. Like if the app has a textbook uploaded, it's okay. Like it's great app, right? So I'm just saying like the material should be there. So okay, let me read some comments from you guys. I wish I had already learned the languages I have wanted to learn, but life is so distracting. I have no discipline, but I have always wanted to learn Chinese, Japanese. I'm not sure what your situation is, Eugene. But I will just say if you wanted to learn one language, pick one language, choose one language, and just start with it. Just like schedule 1 hour a day and do whatever it takes to learn it. Why would you give up on your dream and say, like, oh, I'm too busy, right? 1 hour a day is enough. I'm not a full-time language learner. You see those polyglots speaking a lot of languages on a great level. They're learning a lot of hours. I don't even learn a lot of hours a day. I just learn like 1 hour a day maximum. Like these days, I'm just learning like 20 minutes a day. This is my average now, if you want to know. So it's like, but back in the day, of course, I was learning like a few hours a day too. But it's not like if you average it out, it's like 1 hour a day, 40 minutes a day. Yeah, I agree with you because a person kind of gets emotions back from the sentences. Exactly. So it's like you get emotions, right? Emotions, stories, feelings. Not knowing English is suicidal. Like if you live in Russia, you just live in this small world. And it's like you live in the US and you're just like live in this small world. You don't really care about learning like other languages. Some people just satisfied with where they are, or if they think it's too hard to learn the language. So most Russians don't speak English. It's for me, it's like I live in the world. I can't imagine like how can you just not learn English? It's crazy. For beginner, is it better to have Chinese flashcards in Pinyin or Hanzi? Don't never for all of you guys never use Pinyin for learning Chinese. Just use always character with Pinyin together. Just like you don't people like just write like we have a free language community as school.com/Victor Talking SKOL, and they just type those like they have this like self introduction just the all in Pinyin. I'm like, dude, you never learn in Pinyin. I have a client. He's like, I learned Chinese for 1 year. I was like, okay, how many characters do you know? I didn't learn characters. I'm like, what? Did you learn with the Chinese teacher? He's like, yeah. I was like, why didn't you? Well, it's too hard. She said it's too hard. If it's too hard if you don't make it easy. Basically, you from day one you learn characters from day one. Memorize characters from day one, right? What else? Somebody said, why do I understand? Like some Russians said, like, why do I understand? Uh, Somebody said like, why do I understand your English but don't understand like other like native speakers? If you understand mine, you'll understand native speakers too. It means that you just don't watch. You don't watch stuff. Hmm. What the best way to learn new words? Already answered that. I think someone have a talent to learn languages, but a lot of people can. No, man, like you can learn the language. You can. Talent is overrated. This is the only thing I can say. Talent is overrated. I on my programs I see people. Recently saw a girl joining from Germany. Her pronunciation is like I thought I was like I thought I was talented before I see those people, man. It's like I see those people, I'm like I always thought I was talented. Am I really? And like and I see and I hear my pronunciation is like, I think she's already so there are people there. They're actually talented, yes, in pronunciation, but I think there is just something about their process also. Um, I believe everybody's talented. You just need to figure out your learning type, whether it's reader, writer, or listener, like your learning type, learning style. And you need to believe in developing your own talent because when you learn languages or master any other skill, especially like intellectual skill, the brain area of the some area of your brain basically improves. So it's not static. Check out the book which is called The Winner Effect. Uh, how do you build proper pronunciation if you don't live in the country of origin? You mean in the country of the language, right? Yeah. So by actually pronouncing, read out loud, read after the audio. In one word is shadowing, just shadow. If you want to improve your pronunciation to the point, just perfect like do like a perfectionism on yourself, be your own coach. just record yourself reading the text because you think you pronounce correctly. Then listen to the audio, the original audio, and compare your recording with the audio. If you learn sign reading, writing, listening, you need to do all of those things, but you need to identify what is your strength. Like, do you really like, do you like voice messages, or for example, or text messages, right? So do you like read when somebody drops a fucking badass text message on me, long and stuff? I'm like, no, man, it's just I don't want to read it. I get stressed. But if somebody drops a voice, I'm okay with that. Should I pause movies for reading subtitles and translate them to understand it? It depends on your level, because if you're a complete zero beginner and you just watch with subtitles, it's up to you. Like if you want to do it, you can do it. But at some point, it can get like for me, it would be get like really boring. Again, like the reason why I like textbooks is because they take a text and they translate new words from it, right? So you don't have to really translate that much. There are software. I heard there is software somebody shared in our community. Like it shows you like the translation of words. Guys, it's like 3 a.m. here. It's crazy. I need to go to sleep. They were kind of practicing with AI. Yes. All right. I want to see more Russian comments popping up. I'll just finish the last. Yeah. So basically, to wrap everything up, so that for those of you guys who just joined recently, um, don't memorize words, memorize phrases. Just this one sentence, one thing. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Oh, before I hop off, are the 3 4 textbooks you recommend all grammar? No, it's like comprehensive grammar, vocabulary. It's called a comprehensive course, right? Practical comprehensive course, like something like this. It's all inclusive. It's not only grammar. I don't like this like grammar textbooks. Like why would you learn grammar? Like you learn everything: grammar, usage, vocabulary, right? So, all right. Good luck, guys. Keep me updated in comments. Tell me, hey, I learned this thing and I used it. Please let me know.